Hey, Lakers fans. Today we need to take a deep dive into the current state of the Los Angeles Lakers and what the team might be thinking when it comes to shaping this roster for the rest of the season. Right now, it is early, but there are clear patterns emerging, and it is impossible to ignore the fact that the Lakers have some players who are critical to the core of this team and others who, as much as we may like them, are not fitting the long-term vision. Every season, there are moments when you realize that certain pieces, no matter how talented, are not the right match for the gaps you need to fill, especially in areas like perimeter defense, athleticism, and two-way effectiveness, which have been consistent issues for the Lakers so far this season. One of the first names that comes to mind in this discussion is Rui Hachimura. Rui has shown tremendous growth over the past seasons, and it is impossible not to acknowledge his development. He has become a highly adaptable player, someone who can operate off the ball, make timely cuts to the basket, hit catch-and-shoot three-pointers, and occasionally create his own scoring opportunities. He even ranks among the top players in the league in terms of scoring from slashing and cutting to the hoop, which is impressive by any standard. On nights when he is at his best, Rui has the ability to be a real difference-maker. The problem, though, is that despite his offensive contributions, he does not address the Lakers' most pressing needs, especially on the defensive end. The team is looking for players who can provide athleticism, perimeter defense, and a two-way presence, and unfortunately, Rui does not fully deliver on those fronts. His contract, however, makes him one of the most valuable trade assets on the roster. Teams are likely to be interested in him because he is a talented, versatile player who could fit in multiple roles, whether coming off the bench or even as a starter in the right system. The challenge for the Lakers is finding a trade that provides real value while still making sense for the team's long-term strategy, because you do not want to move Rui simply for the sake of moving him. Then there are other players whose future with the team seems more uncertain. Dalton Knecht, for example, has struggled to find consistency and, despite opportunities stretching from summer league to the early season, he has yet to demonstrate the level of performance needed to be a reliable contributor. Fans who support him may hope that a change of scenery could reignite his career, and there are teams that might see potential in him. But the reality is that his current trajectory suggests he is unlikely to meet the expectations the Lakers have for him. It is not about labeling him as a failure. It is about recognizing that sometimes the best way for a player to reset is to find a new environment where the system, coaching, and role align with their strengths. Gabe Vincent presents a similar dilemma. When healthy and on his game, he can contribute in meaningful ways. He can stretch the floor, handle the ball, and occasionally be a spark on both ends. The issue is his inconsistency, compounded by recurring injuries and a lack of elite athleticism. The Lakers have numerous roster gaps, and having a player who is hot and cold, both in performance and availability, creates uncertainty in a team that needs stability and defensive reliability. Maximilian Kleber also fits this pattern in some ways. His ability to contribute when he is available is undeniable. He can space the floor, make plays within his role, and perform effectively in his area of expertise. Yet, his availability is unpredictable, which makes it difficult to rely on him as a consistent piece of the rotation. These situations create a need for the Lakers' front office to seriously consider moving players like Vincent, Knecht, and Kleber if the right opportunities present themselves, not simply to offload players, but to strategically improve the team's overall structure and performance. Now, when discussing trades, it is easy to hear fans say, "Who would want these players?" or assume that moving them is impossible. The truth is that trades in the NBA rarely revolve solely around the names on the jerseys. There are financial considerations, contract structures, and team-specific situations that create opportunities for movement. Teams frequently make trades not just because of talent, but because they want to shed salary, retool their roster, or find a better fit for players who are struggling in their current system. The Lakers' limited and tradable assets beyond a few first-round picks and salary swaps actually have significant leverage due to their expiring contracts. With over $40 million in expiring contracts, the Lakers could become a highly attractive trade partner for teams looking to shed salary while acquiring flexibility for the future. This situation creates a window of opportunity for the Lakers at the trade deadline. Teams that are underperforming, facing salary challenges, or simply looking to adjust their rosters may come knocking with offers that align with what the Lakers need, such as adding athleticism, perimeter defense, or two-way capabilities. Even players who are currently struggling or inconsistent may have value to the right team in the right situation. For example, trading Dalton Connect for a one-year contract with upside or moving Gabe Vincent as part of a package deal could free up space to bring in a player who better addresses the Lakers' gaps. The complexity of trades goes beyond individual talent. It is about matching contracts, team needs, timing, and potential upside, which is why even players who appear undervalued on paper can become important assets in the right scenario. Looking at the Lakers roster through the first few games of the season, the early trends are familiar. Despite off-season discussions and attempts to address weaknesses, the team continues to face challenges in athleticism, perimeter defense, and consistent two-way play. This underscores why certain players, no matter how talented offensively, may not be able to remain untouchable assets. Unless a player like Rui Hachimura can significantly alter his defensive impact, or another player suddenly becomes a reliable contributor night in and night out, the Lakers are likely to explore trades that improve their overall balance and address critical needs. These decisions are never easy because every trade has risk, but with a careful approach, the Lakers can leverage both contracts and player talent to enhance their chances of competing at the highest level as the season progresses. Even with these considerations, there are players on the roster who are likely safe from any trade discussions. Austin Reaves, for example, has been performing at a high level and is a young core piece that the team can build around. His consistency and development make him far less likely to be moved, though in a modern NBA, very few players are completely untouchable outside of elite superstars. The focus remains on balancing short-term needs with long-term strategy, and the Lakers must weigh each decision carefully to ensure that any move not only fills gaps, but also contributes positively to the team's championship aspirations. As we continue through the early season, it will be fascinating to watch how these dynamics play out and which players become trade candidates based on performance, fit, and the strategic vision of the front office. Continuing from where we left off, the Lakers situation becomes even more interesting when you start considering the balance between what the team has now and what it could gain through calculated moves. The roster is full of talent, but the distribution of skills is uneven, which creates both opportunities and challenges. For instance, while players like Rui Hachimura provide scoring versatility, the lack of defensive impact and athleticism in certain roles leaves the Lakers vulnerable in key moments. The reality is that basketball is a game of matchups, and in today's league, perimeter defense and two-way effectiveness can often be the difference between winning a close game and falling short in the playoffs. That is why management has to constantly evaluate who fits the system, who can elevate the team in crunch time, and who might be better utilized elsewhere. Dalton Connect exemplifies a scenario that many teams have to face: talent without consistency. On paper, he has the skill set that could contribute in multiple ways, but in practice, the results have not matched expectations. When a player reaches a point where repeated chances do not translate into meaningful production, it forces teams to consider alternatives. This is not just about cutting someone loose. It is about creating space for players who can deliver in high-pressure situations. The Lakers are in a position where they cannot afford repeated inconsistency because their championship window demands every player in the rotation to perform reliably. Connect's potential still exists, and in a different system or with a fresh start, he could regain confidence. But the Lakers need solutions in the present as much as planning for the future. Gabe Vincent faces a similar predicament. His moments of brilliance are undeniable, but they are sporadic. Injuries have also hampered his ability to contribute consistently, and the Lakers need more than flashes of excellence. The team's core issues, perimeter defense, athleticism, and two-way performance, cannot be ignored, and having a player who is hot and cold does not solve those problems. Maximilian Kleber is also in a comparable situation. When he is healthy, He can perform effectively and within his role, but health and availability are critical factors. Basketball at the highest level demands players who can be relied upon night after night, especially in a league where rotation depth and bench consistency can swing games in the playoffs. This makes both Vincent and Kleber candidates for potential moves if the right trade comes along, because creating roster flexibility can allow the Lakers to address the very gaps that have limited their effectiveness in the early season. The dynamics of trades are not solely about talent evaluation. They're about strategy, timing, and financial considerations. The Lakers' expiring contracts give them leverage that many teams would envy. With the ability to absorb or exchange salaries efficiently, they become a key player in potential deals. Teams that need to shed long-term money or adjust their roster structure may look to the Lakers as partners in creative trade solutions. This opens up possibilities that are not immediately obvious just by looking at individual player performance. A package that includes Vincent, Kleber, or Connect, for example, could free up salary, provide roster flexibility, and even bring in younger players with upside or expiring contracts that allow the Lakers to recalibrate the team without sacrificing competitiveness. The early season games have shown glimpses of what this team can do when key players step up. In games like the matchup against Minnesota, we saw a version of the Lakers that could compete at the highest level, demonstrating that with a few strategic adjustments, this team has the potential to contend for a championship. However, the underlying issues remain. Despite discussions in the offseason, the Lakers still lack consistent perimeter defense, elite athleticism across the roster, and reliable two-way contributors beyond their core stars. These gaps are not likely to disappear overnight, and management must think proactively about how to address them while maintaining the team's competitiveness. One of the most critical aspects of this process is evaluating which players are untouchable and which are movable. Austin Reeves, for example, has proven himself as a reliable, developing young talent, making him someone the Lakers are likely to retain regardless of trade discussions. His performance and cost-effectiveness make him a cornerstone for the team's future. Other players, however, are in a more fluid category where their value is dependent on context and opportunity. Rui Hachimura, while talented, becomes a prime candidate for a strategic trade that provides significant value in areas the team currently lacks. The key is finding a trade that aligns with the Lakers' immediate needs while also considering long-term implications. This is the balance that front offices across the league constantly navigate, maximizing value without compromising the team's direction or culture. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, whispers are circulating through the NBA, and if the latest buzz proves true, Los Angeles Lakers fans might be in for a seismic shakeup. Sources close to team circles hint that the Lakers are aggressively pursuing, or may have already secured, a deal to bring De'Aaron Fox to Los Angeles. The idea of the Sacramento Kings' electrifying point guard donning purple and gold has sparked excitement, speculation, and more than a little controversy across social media and sports talk shows. Fox, 26, has long been celebrated for his lightning-quick drives, clutch playmaking, and ability to take over games when it matters most. His arrival in LA could signal a dramatic shift in the Lakers' strategy, particularly around their offensive firepower. Rumors suggest that the Lakers' front office has been in discreet, intense negotiations, possibly offering a mix of draft picks and roster flexibility to bring the Sacramento star into their fold. While no official announcement has been made, insiders say that the energy around the team is electric, as if players and staff are already imagining Fox running fast breaks alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Critics, of course, are weighing in. Questions linger about how Fox would mesh with the Lakers' existing core, and whether his style of play might clash with the team's traditional schemes. Others wonder what Sacramento would demand in return. Likely a combination of young talent and future draft picks strong enough to shake the foundation of any roster. Yet, the mere suggestion that Fox could land in LA has fans buzzing from downtown Los Angeles to Sacramento. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.